So
Yeah.
often we think we have to do it all ourselves or do it all on our
Right.
own back. And I think this is really powerful for women founders and entrepreneurs in general, is to learn how to curate those relationships
Yeah.
so that you can have an idea or an inspiration and have somebody to support it or show up to do the other work.
So I like collaborators that are action oriented and people that are willing to get as excited about the thing we're collaborating on as I am. So I'm not always doing the heavy lifting.
Welcome back to the Oracle on Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Leah Dunlap, and today I am super excited. I'm here with Holly Roberson. She is the founder and CEO and owner of SipSaver Explore Oregon. It is an incredible idea. I love this idea. She takes travel experiences in Oregon that are like wine tours and out to the Oregon coast and curated celebrations, and she just does everything for you. So it's such a great idea and such a great concept. But of course, it's not just where she started. And of course, as we're talking to all of you as women founders and entrepreneurs, we are looking for these stories of people who have stepped out, started their own thing, and getting the opportunity to talk to them about what their journey was like. So I'm really excited because Holly's here to share with us what her journey was like. Tell us more about your story, about what brought you to SipSaver and Explore.
Yeah. Great to meet with you today, Leah. I'm super excited about this conversation. So SipSaver Explore Oregon was the brainchild of kind of COVID times, actually. I have a marketing agency that I've had since 2014, which means a lot of computer time. And the travel experience business occurred to me during kind of challenging pressure cooker times where it felt like I just want to take people to have a good time. Like, no matter what is going on in the world, we kind of still need to remember to try and have a good time. And so also I am an avid traveler and I have discovered and traversed through every nook and cranny of Oregon. And I love everything from waterfalls to the coast to the wineries and everything in between. I love finding small towns. I love discovering hidden gems and I love to meet people along the way. So I thought, what happens if I just get folks in a van and take them to explore all these places that I love? Plus, it's an antidote to get me off my computer and into the world. And voila, SipSaver was born.
I love that so much. And you know what's so funny? We're just talking to somebody recently about, who's from Europe, about the US and how like so few of us even like, let alone getting away from our computer, because yes. But also we don't get out into our own neighborhoods, our own towns, our own cities, our own states, let alone across this giant, expanse that we live in. So I love that the idea of like, we think about traveling so often as like, I'm going to go away to Europe or I'm going to go somewhere far away, but we often don't even think about being a tourist in our own space and around us. And so as you took this idea and this concept on board, here we are talking about like, what is this journey that we do when we like have an idea as a founder, like, yeah, this is great. And then there's the next thing. So how did you find for yourself, like highlighting the idea of traveling locally? Like what was that journey like for you?
I mean, it really came down to research. So I spent about 2 years researching what it looks like to get a van for one, and also go out to locations and set up partnerships with businesses and like, hey, can I bring 10 to 12 people to your business? What does that look like? Do you even want me to bring 10 to 12 people to your business? You'd think most people would say, yeah, but some of them are like, well, we like to keep it more intimate. We can't accommodate large groups, etc. So really doing all of that research, that was a 2-year process. Going out, and my criteria for hosting an experience or curating or taking people and saying, hey, I want to take you to this place is the view and the vibe. So it has to have good energy. Like I want the people that we're visiting to want us there and have a welcoming thing. So this is businesses that we're visiting. And then there's going out into nature. Like, what does it actually look like to take people on this trail or to this waterfall? Like, what are the logistics around that? And then if I'm planning a 5 to 8 hour itinerary, how are those transitions how do they all play out? So I just did this with my husband and sometimes friends. I took a lot of friends on a lot of tours. before I launched to kind of work out those logistics. So it was really just acting as if I was already doing the thing,
Yes.
exposing myself and others to the experience, and then kind of taking it from there.
Yeah, I love, and it's interesting too, we, as you were saying, like this idea that we have to have collaboration. Like, I
Yeah.
love that you're like, wait, what if they don't even, what if they can't handle it?
Yeah.
As someone who does retreats herself, and
Yeah.
this, like, as someone who's done retreats, there's so much that goes into, like, I love that, like, the curation of the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
And it does take, like, getting out there, but it also takes having really good relationships, having good relationships with other people in the industry, I'm sure, but also
Yeah.
just, being able to build those collaborations. And I think this is really powerful for women founders and entrepreneurs in general, is to learn how to curate those relationships so
Yeah.
that you can have, an idea or an inspiration and have somebody to support it or show up to do the other work. So
Yeah.
often we think we have to do it all ourselves or do it all on our
Right.
own back. So tell me, like, when you look at like creating a new relationship or a collaboration, what are some of those key points that you look into?
I mean, it's really the welcoming nature of the person. Like, are they remembering me when I return? Yeah, that's kind of the biggest one. Is there's sometimes you'll revisit a place and there's not even the same people in the room. And so then you're having to reinvent the wheel. So people that are willing to like get into a thing where we're going to repeat coming back there with our guests, and people that are willing to get as excited about the thing we're collaborating on as I am. So I'm not always doing the heavy lifting. So I like collaborators that are action oriented and that really want to kind of do the thing and pay attention to all the nuances of what's going into it. Because there's a whole lot of the other, which is they're too busy maybe to even, kind of
Yeah.
keep me on their radar. So looking for that, when I did that market research though, I think this is really important. It really helped me identify my target audience. So the feedback I got time and time again was, please don't bring a 12-person bachelorette party here to my establishment. And if you do, please don't let us be your third stop. Okay, this is wine tour specific. So
yeah, that makes I'm connecting those dots. I get it. Yes, that would be a different experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So it really helped me define my target audience. It helped me identify that I didn't want to serve on board and that I wanted to feed people in between stops, and I wanted to build in other things that were happening. So, and really that I was partnering with, again, this is winery, vineyard specific places that were doing like a really thoughtful presentation versus just grabbing bottles and having it be that vibe. So I worked really hard to kind of design who we are not. And
that's a really good point. Yeah.
And
well,
appeal
I think that idea of knowing who you're not is important. Like as from a marketing perspective of like, if you're creating something and you're a founder who's like, oftentimes you talk about like your niche or what have you, but it's also the flavor and the experience of what you want to have yourself. Not only do your collaborators need to be excited, but you need to be invested and you need to be excited for it, because sometimes we can be, and I don't know if this happened to you, but sometimes, we're kind of drawn in by like, oh, we got to get the bottom line. So we're going to take that particular group, let's say that 16, we're going to cram them all and we're going to turn this into a party bus. Like we start to kind of lose our edges, right? Of like what we're really doing or what we're really about when we're not paying attention to, as you're saying, like who is that really you want to serve and what do you want to offer? Because it's too easy, I think, for women or people that are just starting out to kind of feel buffeted about by opportunities or shiny objects and like, oh, we can do that, right? I love this. Like there's a person that might be like, I love that I can do anything. It's like, yes, and right. We have to kind of look at how, as business owners, if you really want to create something and really want to prosper, you have to pick what you're being, what you're being seen as. What if you could tap into the law of attraction with precision and power on your terms? I'm Leah Dunlap, and in my audiobook, Power Up the Law of Attraction, I give you the no-fluff blueprint to create a life of purpose, prosperity, and peace. Ready to stop manifesting by accident and start creating with intention? Download Power Up the Law of Attraction now on Audible. Now, back to the show. what I see and hear from you too is like, this is not a party bus. Like, this is not that's not the vibe, as you said, right?
Exactly.
And so what was it about that? I know that, this is all of our journeys, really, if we're honest with ourselves, especially in the entrepreneurial and founding world. There's an aspect, as whether you call it spiritual or whatever, but there's a part of this that is soul giving, right? Like we're doing something of giving it from our soul. So for you, you mentioned the travel. I'm curious, like when you had the vision of what you were creating, where did that come from for you? What is being fed for you?
Oh, just a sense of adventure and connecting with individuals. Yeah. I mean, the conversations, the relationships, I can't tell you how many times. So I'm currently a one-woman show. My vision with this business is to scale it and have drivers and different vehicles of different kinds. I don't know, a boat, an airplane, who knows? But I currently design, curate, do everything in the business, and I drive the individuals. And I love that. Yeah, I love that because I am getting my hands dirty in the process. Like, I know what I want this to be like. It's kind of getting to the point where it's going to be hard to hand it off to somebody. But when I do, I'll know that I can like train them, So really, getting back to your question, getting to connect with individuals and hear their stories. I've hosted people from Bosnia, from Tanzania.
Wow.
I've hosted people from all over the world, from France, all over the country for sure. And just listening to stories, I would say 80% of the folks I'm on board with are like, hey, do you want to hang out after this? I get invited to like family parties. It's like we're really connecting and telling stories, and I'm sharing my home state with them. And they are getting sort of like the traveler's experience versus the tourist experience. And that matters to me big time. I mean, just to get back to that nuance, like our van is fun. It's not super fancy and it's not the party bus. It doesn't have those elements. So it's kind of for that like savvy traveler that's like, ooh, I kind of want to do it where I'm not really standing out and flashy. I'm doing it more like an Oregon style, in my opinion.
Oregon style. Oh my gosh. Where's the flannel? Just kidding. All right.
I do have Pendleton blankets draped on all of the seats in my van because it's like, it gets chilly here.
That's so Oregon. If you're not from here, you would not know that. But I'm just telling you, Pendleton, Oregon, side by side. And I think it's really great too, because as you were saying this, like when we start our businesses or we're founding something, we're really creating something, we both have to be in the presence of the current state and always keeping an eye on like where we're going and results, or the end all be all will be.
Yeah.
What do you do to keep that moving, both the current and the future planning? Like, what is your do you have a practice? Do you have a system? Do you have give us a little tidbit, like for people that are like in the early stages of this, what do you recommend as like, how do you keep the now and the future at the same time? How do you hold that?
Oh, that's an amazing question. I do a lot of visualization around just being in the spot I want to see my business in 3, 5, and 10 years. Like, I do a lot of being present in that feeling and in that vision, and like, what does that look like? So that's sort of the spiritual soulful side, is I try to, hold that. Lots of visualizations. I mean, there's a lot of journaling, drawing. I really try to keep the creative spirit of it alive. And then on the flip side, I do forecasting. If I'm doing like the spreadsheets of what does it look like, and knowing my numbers and knowing what things actually look like, what revenue is coming in and what is possible. Knowing what is possible is another big driver, obviously.
Yes, definitely. And so true. I say that constantly. You have to know your numbers to grow your numbers. Like, as much as people think I'm so woo, it's like I am like the most weirdly woo / practical person you'll meet.
Yeah.
Because even though, like you said, I love that you're saying that, like there is this, it's both and, right? It's like if you're really doing your business and you're treating it like a business, there are business functions that just have to be attended to. And I also think that most people, when they get to a certain level, recognize, and, having done this for 30 years now, I've seen all kinds of different businesses. And ultimately, when people are getting stuck, it's usually not really the business aspects, unless they don't have their self set.
Yeah.
it becomes kind of that internal mental game of expansion, of like holding the vision, of understanding like what it takes for them to be the person that's running that, as maybe not the CEO anymore. Now, maybe as a founder, you've stepped completely away. And so,
Yeah.
as you're saying, like, have you done the inner work to be ready to let go and
Yeah.
have other people running your vision? What helps you, or what have you found for yourself when you get in? Maybe you never get stuck. Maybe, Holly, you never get stuck. But if you were
No.
ever to get stuck,
Yeah.
that part of you that maybe isn't as confident, or feels like
Mm.
maybe this is a bigger stretch than you want, where do you go? What do you do to kind of manage through that?
Seek help, seek resources, reach out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all of last year, I spent time with a mentor and having a business coach through an awesome program here in Portland called Accelerate. I got in with a cohort of other founders that are at sort of my station. So
Mhm.
I seek assistance. I have been working in a silo. I'm sure you can relate. A lot of entrepreneurs can relate. Sometimes we're in a silo. It's like me, myself, and I need to figure it all
Yes.
out. So the biggest thing I've been able to return to over the past 2 decades of being a multipreneur with other businesses is to seek that assistance. I don't have all
I
the
love it.
answers, and I like to ask a lot of questions.
Right. Yes, ask questions. And I think you're
Yeah.
right. We don't have all the answers. And even I don't have all the answers, guys. I'm ready to say that right out loud. I have a lot of answers, but I don't have necessarily all the answers. And one of my answers
Yeah.
is go find help, right? Like, that's an
Yeah.
answer too. And I think you're right. Like, it's finding people, or finding, I love what you said, that like finding your tribe of people that are in a similar and maybe stretching you.
Mhm.
Because that's important too. I think sometimes people will, unfortunately, if they're not in a confident state, kind of go down. Like, they'll settle in a way in their
Mhm.
environment if they're kind of looking for
Yeah.
help. So
Yeah.
I think it's important that you mentioned that. Like, it's not just always about looking for help. It's like looking for the right help in the right way for where you are and where you want to go. And
Yes.
sometimes that can make the difference between just staying and churning and
Yeah.
being like, oh, pushed and nudged a little bit more to kind of stretch yourself. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing I get back that I got back during, like, let's just say last year the most was affirmation of how on track I was. And that was
Uh,
huge because that helped build my confidence. And I was like, cool, tell me why you think that. And then they can reflect and you're like, oh my gosh, that's right. I am doing XYZ. Right. I am, doing the thing. So I think having other people to reflect back what they're seeing you doing is really important. A cohort is awesome. A mastermind is awesome. And
Absolutely.
then yeah, that's been really helpful.
And you touched on it a little bit, so I wanna like, this is the time where we get to play a little bit, and I'm curious, right? This is where I'm gonna be curious because you mentioned it, where SipSaver Explore goes from here. I love right now, so this might be a teaser probably, that it's SipSaver Explore Oregon. It sounds like maybe you see yourself kind of bringing it state by state maybe. What is your next current iteration vision right now for where you wanna go with it?
Yeah, actually, because I moved from South Willamette Valley to North Willamette Valley, and there's a lot of saturation in my area with wine tours specifically. So I am fusing some of my other retreat endeavors and working with women in well-being endeavors and seeing how it can meet with Sip Savers. So I have some mindfulness tours coming up, some surf and yoga tours coming up. So I'm really trying to lean into, like, what does it look like to blend all that I am sort of in my life in general into this business? And how can I take that to here to Mexico, to Europe, wherever. So yeah, just kind of seeing how I can scale it with like these new fresh concepts in mind.
Ooh, nice. So I'm hearing like it's kind of almost like a deepening of the experience, rather than
Mhm.
just expansion of the current. So tell
Yes.
me, if you're looking at that now, which sounds yummy just by listening to it,
Mm.
what is one question you might have that O can maybe answer for you about what you would like to do next?
How do I take myself out of the equation enough to allow others to enter to help me step into that vision better?
Instantly, like, this was like a bullet. She's like, you have to see them in the vision.
Mm,
You're doing
okay.
all this great visioning work, but she's like,
Yeah.
you have to put them in the vision.
Yeah.
And the vision work has to shift from Holly looking out. Like I'm getting like the full,
Chills.
everybody knows it
Chills.
now. The
Yeah.
full chills. You get them
Same.
too?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
for
like
sure. Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is like whoosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like really like right there that your visioning has been amazing and it's brought you where you are,
Yeah.
but now you kind of have to step back and be a higher vision of seeing those people
Yeah.
doing those things you want them to do.
Amazing.
And I am getting such a crazy chill for this right now, all through my
Yeah.
whole body, which is amazing.
Same.
I would say there's really nothing else for you to do but to do that because
Yeah.
you're already on that path.
Yeah.
I mean, this is hot. You've got something hot right now.
Mm.
So yeah, if you can take that next step, you're doing all the things you need to be doing already. Like, shouldn't have to tell you about the workings of it. This is
Yeah.
about that embracing and envisioning of it.
That's amazing because I do spend a lot of time thinking too about my target audience, let's say, and I take some time to vision who they are, but I haven't taken any time to think about who is this team that is essentially an extension of me that's going to bring all these other gifts to the table, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Like the way she showed it to me, like you're seeing everything. Like she shows me you looking out for your own eyes, and she just like pulls you out and says, "Now look through their eyes. Look through their eyes
Oh,
at this
wow.
vision you're creating.
Wow. I love
Really
that.
step
I
into it."
love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where you
Yeah.
get to kind of hang out up here and watch through their eyes.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And I'm having chills that are expanding from my chest, like not just these. It's like, so
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it
is. It's
feels,
opening it because it's trust, right? You have to trust them.
yes,
This is your baby. You're opening your heart to them.
yes,
Yeah, it's big stuff.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
a big expansion for you.
Yeah. Oh
Oh, I love
boy.
that.
That's great. I love that. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the chance to share that knowledge from O for You. But we
Yeah.
want to make sure that people know more about how they can take advantage of what you're offering and how they can find you, follow you, do amazing things with you. So why don't you share with us how can they best find what you're up to next?
Yeah, I mean, SipSaver Explore Oregon, my website it has a lot there. It has joinable tours, and then it has a whole bunch of information on private experiences, and it really leaves the door open to, I don't know, let's craft something together. Then my Instagram is kind of where my current events are. You'll see that I'm leading into these like unique and not often done type of events, and I'm really just kind of throwing it out there and feeling people out and I think like having my footprint in the blending mindfulness with travel and seeing what we can
Mm.
do there. When I had this vision to do this come to me at the end of last year, I put it out to the universe as one does, and 5 retreat alignments came in right away. So that's really cool. I just love supporting others with either, ideas, transportation, itineraries, all that stuff. So Instagram, SipSaver Explore Oregon is really a place to kind of be connected. Yeah. And then of course you can find me through the website and email me and say, hey, let's chat ideas. And collaborations are really the meat of what I do as well. So yeah.
Well, and I can give a special shout out to Holly because we're going to take advantage of that collaboration piece ourselves
Yeah.
with the Limitless Life Club. We're going to be getting her involved in our next retreat. So if you're getting this before we do that, you might even get the chance to see Holly yourself there. If not, definitely find her, follow her, check out what she's up to.
Yeah.
Fall in love with all the beautiful places that she's going to and find out how you can get on board and take advantage of that. Because you're right. It is so important to get outside, get away from computers,
Yeah.
get connected to each other, right? I see all of this with what you're doing. So thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing
absolutely.
a little bit about your founder's journey and giving us the chance to let O out to play and
Yeah.
share with hopefully some insight for you so you can take this version and this vision even further. And for all of you who are watching, if you are enjoying these conversations, please subscribe below. Make sure that you hit the bell and stay with us. We will be back with more founders, more entrepreneurs, more stories to share, more insights and, inspiration to help you because we understand that as women founders and entrepreneurs, oftentimes we do live in that silo, like Holly was saying, and we need to kind of shake ourselves out of it and get some inspiration to stretch and grow, open our own hearts, if you will. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Holly, again for being here. I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. I am Leah Dunlap. This is the Oracle on Purpose podcast. And we want you to remember, not only are you here on purpose, but you deserve to live a limitless life of purpose and prosperity. And you can start it right away. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.